back everyone to part 18 of our Smart Enemy AI series, and in this part we're going to focus on a very important change, and that's creating a new attack system. And what I mean by that is we're going to take all of our existing attacks and move them into a shared place so that any of the attacks that we have, the mage, melee, range attacks, can be used by any enemy type. And this is especially important for the boss fight because we want the boss to be able to use any of the attacks that we've already have. The barrage attack, the magic spell, the jump attack, and so on. Now I'm first going to demonstrate this by adding a new attack type, and I'm going to share it between both the mage and melee enemies, and the only difference will be the montage itself. So that when we start to build the boss fight, we just have to have a list of animations, but the attack functionality itself is already there because we've already implemented it for previous enemies. And now this is very important for anyone building a combat system, so make sure to stick around till the end, watch all of the issues that I will run into and how I fixed them, and hopefully this will put us in a very good place to start implementing the boss enemy type. So now let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is create this new ground smash attack that will be shared between both the melee and the mage enemy. But before we start creating shared attacks, let's actually look at the attacks that we have now for the mage enemy, for example. Well, an attack is basically call the parent attack, play a montage, do something on notify, and take damage. This attack is also the same, and if you look at the melee enemy, pretty much the same structure. So we keep repeating this structure. Play montage, do something on notify, and do damage. So we're going to create a common attack structure that we're going to keep repeating in our BPC attacks component. So let's open this up. If you don't remember where it is, I think it was in the attacks folder and BPC attacks. And here we only have a fire, bullet, and magic spell. And these, if you recall, this is what we actually do on notify. So in the mage enemy here, we call magic spell when the montage says fire, when there's a notify called fire. But now we want to create all of our attacks, so we're going to move them into this BPC attacks. But I'll first show you how we create a new attack from scratch here. Before doing that, we want to have a new struct. So I'm going to go over here, right click, and search for structure. And I'm going to call this the attack info struct, so s_attack info. And this structure is going to contain all of the information that we need for an attack. And if you recall here, we need the attack target, which montage to play, and how much damage to do, or what's the damage info. So we're going to add these three things into our struct. So open up our structure here. First thing we want to have is the attack target. And this is going to be of type actor, object reference. Then we want to have the montage to play, and this is going to be of type anim montage, also object reference. And finally, we want to have the damage info, and this is going to be of type s_damage info. This is another struct that we created before in our damage system tutorial. So right now we have this single variable called attack info that contains these three other variables. So how do we use it? So let me go back here to my BPC attacks, and I'm going to move all of these to the side for now. And I'm going to create a new event. Okay, I'm going to call it the ground smash attack, or just ground smash, that's fine. And I'm going to give it as input the attack info, and it's of type s_attack info. So the first thing you want to do here is copy and paste sort of this structure that we have here. But make sure that we're not making any assumptions about the type of enemy. Is it a mage? Is it a melee enemy? And so on. So the parent attack will be the same. The montage will use that variable, and so on. So let's first get the owner. So since I'm inside an actor component, I can get owner. I don't have a reference to self. This is how to get that. And we're going to call attack. And this is going to be the default attack that we have. And most importantly is that we're going to remove this default attack from our mage enemy and our melee enemy. So actually I can delete it now, and I can delete it now. The reason for doing that is because we want to call the base attack here. So we want this attack to refer to what we have in our base enemy, which does, let me show you. So enemies base, our default attack just sets attacking to true. So this is common for all of our enemy types. And this is basically what we're doing here. So first we do this, but we need the attack target. So pull off this as a break and pass the attack target after breaking. Then we want to play a montage. So I can go over here and say play montage and pass in the montage we want to play. Great. Now I need a mesh that we're going to play the montage in. And remember, again, we are inside an actor component, not inside the actual enemy pawn. So to get the mesh, I'm going to get the owner. Well, there are two ways. I can get the owner and say get component by class and search for skeletal mesh. Then this will give me a skeletal mesh I can pass. But this assumes that I know that the owner has a skeletal mesh. In this case, I know because the owner is either the enemy or the player, so I know they have a skeletal mesh. But if you don't want to do this, another way is to just cast to a character, because the character also has a mesh by default, and say get the mesh variable from that character. I'm going to use the cast method because then I can do something if this cast fails for any reason. If you put this BPC attacks on an actor that's not a character, then this will fail. For my case, it won't, but yeah, I'm going to keep it as a cast. Next thing we want to do is play the, well, switch on this notify, right? Let me move these a bit more. So now I'm going to on notify begin, say switch, on this notify name, say switch, and unplug this, make sure it's on notify begin, remove the default pin, and I'm going to add a new one called, I don't know, smash. So this is the ground smash attack that I showed you in the intro of the video, and it's going to have a notify called smash. Now what smash does is just do damage in an area. Right? But right now we don't have this function that does damage in an area here, but we do have it in our melee enemy. So if you recall, in the spin attack, we would just do an AoE slash, which does damage in an area because it spawns the AoE damage base given a certain radius and so on, right? So I'm going to copy this function and I'm going to move it to the BPC attacks. And I'm going to move it here with the fire bullet and the magic spell because these are what happened on notify. And I'm going to call all of these, so I can actually comment here. I'm going to call all of these the attack notifies. So this is what happens in a notify for each attack. So let's paste our AoE slash, but I'm going to rename it to just AoE damage instead of slash. And I'm also going to make this radius a variable, so just by pulling this pin here. And the damage info as well, we're going to delete that, and we're going to make the damage info also a variable, just like this. All right, so now I can go here, and to my smash, I can just call AoE damage, and pass in my attack target here from the attack info. Pass in the damage from the damage info, and radius. Now radius, I'm going to make it a variable on this ground smash attack. Why is that? For example, if the melee enemy is using this and wants to do 200 radius smash attack, then it's configurable. But if the mage enemy wants a bigger one, then they can do a 300 or 400 radius attack. So that way you can configure it based on who's using this function. And that makes it a bit more scalable. All right, and on interrupt and on complete, just like we do here, on the interrupt and complete, we call attack end, and we also need to define whether it's interruptible or not. But let's do the attack end first, because that's easier. We just get our owner and call attack end. And we don't have to cast because this is a interface function. And we're going to do this on both completed and interrupted, and make sure the attack target is passed here. I'm going to clean up this spaghetti code a bit. All right, much better. Now for the interrupt. Now the interrupts we just set is interruptible true or false based on the damage system actor component we have here. But inside the BPC attacks, we don't have access to the damage system actor component. So what we need to do is actually modify the way we set this is interruptible or not. So instead of just setting a variable, we're going to make this a function on the damageable interface. So we're going to go to our content folder, damage system, and open up the BPI damageable. Now we have a lot of functions here related to damage, so get health, max health, take damage, and so on. I'm just going to add another one and call it set is interruptible. And it just takes a value as a boolean. And we need to implement this in both our player and enemy. That's very simple. So go over to the BP enemy base, open up interfaces, and you'll see, did I compile? I did not compile. Okay, now that I compiled, I should see set is interruptible. Great. We're just going to double click it, and we are going to get our BPC damage system. And we're going to set the is interruptible variable, make sure it's the variable. And this is the value we're going to pass. Right, now we can do the same for our player. Get our interface, set is interruptible, and just paste this as well. Great. Now, all of the attacks that we're using, that we're creating here, can be used by both the player and the enemy, and that's why it's going to be a much welcome refactoring. So now that it's an interface function, I can say for this ground smash, oh, I'm missing something here. Oh, I need to modify this. I'll get back to it, but let me finish my sentence first. So for the is interruptible, I want the attack, this ground smash attack, not to be interrupted, for example. So if we want that, then I can just pull off the get owner and say set is interruptible to false as soon as we play the montage. And once the montage is over, set is interruptible back to true. And that's pretty much how we had it here as well. So for some attacks, we set is interruptible to false, and as soon as we're done, we set it to true. So I'm basically doing the same thing, but just calling the interface function. Back here to fix our errors, we have some errors here. We don't have an get actor location, so we need to first get our owner and get actor location of that. And then for this take damage, we don't have a self here, the damage causer. So the damage causer is also our get owner. The person who owns this actor component is the one doing the damage. Great. And let me also just move this a bit here. Okay. Oh, and also self. We don't have a self here. Instigator is get owner. Oh, this is a pawn, so cast to pawn or default pawn. Yeah, just pawn. And you can right click and say convert to pure cast, since we're sure that this owner is always a pawn. Or you can just not pass an instigator. That's also fine. All right. So now we have this ground smash attack that doesn't make any assumptions on what montage to play, what type of mesh it's using, is it a melee, is it a ranged, what's the damage, what's the radius. These are all now configurable. So it's time to actually show you how we are going to use these attacks. So let's go over to our BP enemy mage here. I'm going to leave these two attacks for now. We're going to move all the attacks later on. But for now, I'm going to just keep all of this. And let's create a new event here for our mage enemy and call it the ground smash attack. And just like the other attacks as well, this takes an attack target. So this doesn't change. This is the same as we've always done. But the main difference here is that we're not implementing the attack function here. What we'll do is just get our BPC attacks and call ground smash. Now it's going to expect us to pass some things, so let's do that. The attack info, we can pull off of it and say make, and it will give you this, make attack info. Attack target, we'll pass this one. The montage we're going to create in a second, so we're going to leave empty for now. And the damage info, we can also pull off of damage info and say make. And then decide whatever damage you want. Let's say this does 25 damage and explosion, blah, blah, blah. And the radius, let's say it's something like 300. Great, so this is basically how we call the attack now. And I can copy everything here exactly the same and put it in my melee enemy. So here in my melee enemy, this should just be attacks, by the way. Everything is going to be the same. The only difference, of course, is going to be the montage that we play. So let's go ahead and create the montage first for our mage enemy. So let's open up our content browser, and in our characters, mage, animations, let me show you this is the animation I'll be using, mage ground smash. And again, I just got this from Mixamo. I'll leave the link and a name for it down in the description. But we want to create a montage out of this. So right click, create, and create anim montage. And we're going to call this the montage mage ground smash. Open it up. And we want to do a few things. First, let's add a couple of notifies here. So I'm going to add a new notify track. And I'm going to add some effects. So play particle effect here. This, what was it called? Gideon hands. Yeah. I'm going to play this in the right hand. And I am going to copy it and paste it here. And I'm going to play this one in the left hand. All right. And it looks like this. So she just has these hands glowing. All right. And now we want to, at this point, for example, or boom, as soon as we hit the ground here, we want two notifies as well. One is montage notify and call it smash because this is what we're listening to in our attack. Which, let me remind you, here we wait for a notify called smash. So right here is when the damage occurs. And let's also add an effect. I had one also from the Gideon Asset Pack. Impact. Yeah, so this one, Meteor Impact. And it looks like this. Boom. I let the shaders compile first. And boom. Yeah. So it looks just like that. Now let's also add some sounds. So let me also add a new notify track here. And at the very beginning, I'm going to add a notify, play sound. And again, I got a free sound online. And this one is called, I call it Ground Smash Cast. It sounds like this. And on the explosion, I also have another sound. So play sound, and this one, what's it called? Ground Smash Explode. All right. So putting the whole thing together now looks like this. Very nice. So now if I go back to my mage enemy, all I have to do is play this ground smash montage. Great. Now let's do the same for our melee enemy. All right, so for our melee enemy, go to the animations, melee folder, and I have it somewhere here. Yeah, sword ground smash. And it looks like this. Also got from Mixamo and retargeted to the Unreal mannequin and made a small change to the hands. But now we want to create a montage out of it, and we're going to modify it a bit more. So ground smash, right click, create, and a montage, and call this one montage melee ground smash. All right, so I want the, well, I first want it to start later. So right now there's, he just lifts his sword up in the air. I don't want that. So I'm going to start it at like 1.5. Yeah, so it starts when the sword is already in the air, but I want it to have like a slow-mo time for wind up and then hits fast. So from, let's say 1.5 till 2, let's play that very slowly at an 0.5 rate. And then we're going to add another one from 2 till 2.5 and play that pretty quickly at a double rate. And then add it a third time. And this is just going to be from 2.5 till the end and play that at normal rate. So it looks like this. Boom. So holds up the sword in the air for a while and then very suddenly just slams it down. Perfect. So we want our smash notify also somewhere here. Yeah. So right click, add notify, montage notify, and call it smash. And let's add a new notify track. We also want, yes, around here. We also want an effect, so play particle effect. And I have this lightning effect that I got from the FX variety pack, which we've been using for a few things already. And looks like this, but we want to move it a bit to the front. So let's say move it on the y-axis, like, I don't know, 100. A bit more, 170. Yeah, that's good. And do we need anything else? So boom. No, I think that looks good. I don't have sounds for this one. Actually, we can play the same sound that we have. So add notify track. Let's play the same ground smash sound, this one. Yeah, why not? Yeah, looks good. So in our melee enemy, we just select this montage again, the melee ground smash, and here we go. We have our attack. So now we have one common attack implementation shared between the melee enemy and the mage enemy. And let's see what it looks like because we haven't tested anything so far. So I'm just going to make the basic attack for the mage. Call the ground smash attack here instead of doing all these other things, and pass in the attack target. So let's take a look at our mage. Nice. Oof. Works beautifully. And I'm dead. Excellent. So now let's look, see what it looks. Oh, let me actually revert this. And let's see what it looks like for the melee enemy. So I'm also going to have the short range attack. Just do the ground smash attack. Pass in the attack target. Enemies melee enemy. Let's put him here. And get rid of this one. All right. So attack me. Boom. Nice. Very cool. Now it's time to move all of the other attacks to be the same, using the same structure. So all of the attacks will be in the BPC attacks, and they'll be shared between all of the enemy types. So as long as the enemy has a montage that includes the notify, then they can do this attack. So we're basically creating what I like to call a montage-driven attack system. Let me close some of this, and yeah, let's close all of this, and let's start with our melee enemy, because this is the interesting one. Oh, and also let's not forget to undo this. Whoa. Let's just delete it. Okay. All right, so let's start with our short range attack. It's gonna look very similar to the other one, so I'm just going to copy it and we'll make some changes. So I'm gonna go over here to my BPC attacks and paste. It's gonna tell me there's a function called sphere trace damage that doesn't exist. What do you want to do with it? I'm just gonna say do nothing. And we're just gonna delete this for now. All right, and I'm not gonna call this short range attack. I'm gonna make it more specific. So I'm gonna call it primary melee attack. You can call it anything. For me, yeah, just primary melee attack. And we're going to follow the same rules that we used here. So we don't have an attack target. Instead, we have an attack info struct of type attack info. And this is where we get our target from. All right. And the montage we're going to get from here. The mesh, we don't have a mesh, so we need to get it like we did above here also. Get the owner, call attack, and cast. And it's going to replace this attack call. This is going to be attack target, and character, get the mesh, just like that. Let me move this a bit down here so it's not in the way. And instead of set interruptible on the BPC damage system, we just get owner and call set is interruptible as an interface function. So here interruptible is false. And once we're done, we call, oh, sorry, yeah. Here after the attack end, we call interruptible to true. Make sure this is off of the get owner. All right. Now the slash. So over here, slash does the sphere trace damage. So I'm going to copy this sphere trace damage function. And I'm going to move it here to my attack notifies. So just paste it here. And a few things we were going to have to change. This one, damage all non-team members off of the BPC attacks. Since I'm already in BPC attacks, I can remove it. And this is just going to be off of self. We don't have an self actor location. So this has to be get owner and actor location. And a few other things. This damage info, I'm going to make it into a variable. So delete that and take this pin, drag it here. So now it's a parameter. And the radius as well, also a parameter. Sorry, this not radius, this radius. And this one, we're going to call it length. So the length of the sphere trace. So again, this sphere trace damage can be used by any enemy type, and they define how much damage, what's the radius, what's the length, and so on. And this get actor forward vector is also get owner, whoops, and get actor forward vector. And there's something still wrong. Oh, attack target here. The target is also get owner. Also, not going to let me do that. I have to call it again. So attack end, and just replace it with this one. There we go. Compile. Now it's all correct. And on slash, call the slash, what was it called? Sphere trace damage. Now the damage info we have from the attack info struct. And the radius, we're going to make it a variable of the primary melee attack, and the length as well. So now you can define these when you call the attack function. And let's just clean this up a bit. All right, very nice. And let's use it. This one we're only going to be used by the melee enemy, but you can use by whichever melee enemy you want. So we actually don't need this sphere trace damage anymore. We're going to delete that. And this whole short range attack will become much simpler. Let's just remember which notify we play. We play this notify. So I can actually delete all of this now and just call off of BPC attacks our primary melee attack. The length, oh, I don't remember what the length and radius were. Let me just revert them back. The length was 200 and the radius was 20. Okay, now I know. Undo again. So length was 200, radius was 20. And attack info, we say make attack info. Here's our attack target. Here's our montage. And damage info was this one. Again, I just copied and pasted it. You can pull off and say make damage info. Great. So this is now, oh, I'm still, yeah, because this is still calling sphere trace and we deleted it. We'll fix that. And this one's calling sphere trace and we deleted it. We'll fix that as well. So let's see what this looks like now. So it should still do the same. Whoa. Short range attack. Let's see. Why didn't it attack? Oh, there we go. Okay. So it still does the short range attack as expected. Look at that. And attack me. No, not this one. Yeah, okay. Working as expected. Now the long range attack. By the way, I'm going to be moving all of these attacks, so you can skip forward to the interesting part, but the interesting part will be the spinning attack, because this one does a lot more. It has a chase, it has the spin mesh, and these we're going to remove completely. And I'm also going to be adding them in the behavior tree at the end. So make sure to stick around for that. But if you're not interested in these specific attacks, or you have your own, you don't have to, you can skip forward till the part where I actually face some interesting challenges. But for now, I'm just copying and pasting. So long range attack, copy, BPC attacks, paste. It's going to ask me what to do with the jump to attack target. Again, I'm going to say do nothing now, but we're going to copy it later on. And oh, one important thing is that right now we're doing this attack and cast to character in every single attack. So I'm going to make this into a shared function. But let me show you first. So we're going to delete this. Move this a bit. So instead of calling these every time, I'm going to create a function. I'm going to call it attack base. And it's going to do these things for me. So the attack base will just take the attack target as input. It's going to do all of this and then return the mesh, because we need the mesh to play the montage. So now, instead of doing all of this, I can just call attack base, give it the attack target, and I already have my mesh. Yay, much cleaner. Let's do it here as well. Delete these bad boys. Attack base, attack target, and mesh. Boom. Okay. So we're going to do the same here. Paste this, attack target, mesh. Oh, sorry, this shouldn't be attack target. Again, I forgot. This should be attack info. S_attack info. Break it. And this was the attack target. Let's actually move this a bit down. And this is the montage, and this is also the target. All right. And again, the interruptibles are off of the get owner. Set is interruptible to false over here. But once we're done, set it to true again. Always make sure this is off of the get owner as the target. All right, and okay, so a few things now. We don't have this jump to attack. We're gonna create it. And this one is complaining that the target is not set. This should be, I have to always do this from scratch for some reason. So I have to call attack end and replace it with this one. And I'm calling attack end off of get owner. All right, so now we need to say what happens on slash and what happens on jump. Luckily on slash, we already have this sphere trace damage we used above here. So I'm just gonna do the same exact one. Radius 20, length 200, nothing's gonna be different here. And boom, here's my damage info. All right. And now on jump, all we want is actually, well, what happens on jump here is this jump to attack target. So I am going to copy all of this and modify it a bit, but let's add it here to our attack notifies. It's going to ask me what to do with the calculate future actor location. I'm going to say create matching function. So then it creates the function for me. Let me just open it up and make sure. Okay, so it just creates the function but doesn't copy the implementation. So that's not what I want. So I'm going to delete this. Go over here. You can copy and paste functions just by copying them and going over here and pasting them. And that's as simple as that. All right. So now we have our function. We need to make some changes because here get actor location will be get owner and then get this actor location and compile. Yeah, there's still a few things. Okay, so there's the stop movement immediately on the character movement component that we don't have. And also bind on land delegates. All of these require a character, basically. So I need to get my owner and I need to cast it to a character and right click. I did right click and convert to pure cast. And then I can off the character do all of this stuff. All right. And launch character also needs a character. So launch character needs a character, this bind needs a character, this unbind, and this stop movement. Compile, and now everything is happy. All right. So what's left is for us to call our jump to attack target and pass in the attack target. Great. And in our melee enemy, we don't need, let me just, yeah, we don't need any of this anymore. No, let's keep the function name, sorry. So we're gonna just delete this. Oh, the jump to attack target, we don't need it at all. And here we are going to delete all of this. We just need our long range attack. Pull off of BPC attacks, call long range attack. Oh, actually, did I rename it? I should probably rename it. So this is primary melee attack, and whoa, my cat is in the way. And this is, let's call it long range melee attack. I mean, anyone can use it, doesn't have to be a melee, but it has a slash and a jump. Oh, come on. So I'm gonna make it for the melee. Okay, you can sit here. So now we want to make our attack info. The montage will be our, what was it called? Jump. Yeah, this one. And our attack target is our attack target. And the damage, let's just copy the damage from this one. All right. Okay, sorry. Looks good. So let's test this out again, make sure it's working correctly. Is he gonna jump? And boom, yes, working nicely. Now, the spinning attack is an interesting one because there's a spin mesh and a chase target. Now, if you recall, I said all of these attacks can be used by any character and even the player as well. So I don't want the chase functionality to be tied to the attack, because maybe you as a player, you want to do the spin attack and then you move it yourself. You don't want your player character to be moving on its own. Right, Chloe? Yeah. So what I did actually here, I've already done that, which is I made the spin part of the animation. So now the animation itself has the spin. I no longer need to call spin mesh. Now we just need to handle the move or the chase on its own. So let's copy this and make some changes. Spinning attack over here, paste. So now it tells me there's a spin mesh, chase, and stop spinning, all of these, what to do with them. I'm just gonna say do nothing. Now spin mesh, we don't even need to spin, and we don't need to chase at all. And AoE slash, we already have this one, and it's called AoE damage this time. And here's our attack target and radius. I think it was 300, I don't remember. We still have it here, right? Yeah, AoE slash. The radius, yeah, the radius was 300. Okay. And damage info, again, this is not attack target. This is attack info of type attack info. Break. And we get our attack target from here. This is a bit of a mess. And damage info, we get it from here. Montage, we get it from here. And this is not parent attack, this is the attack base, which takes our attack target and gives us our mesh back. Then we can delete this mesh. And attack end, again, we need to, well, end is interruptible. We don't need stop spinning because spin is part of the montage now. So I'm gonna get owner and say attack end. And I'm gonna replace this one. Here's just plug in all these things. put it in its place, and also is interruptible. Set is interruptible to false. So as soon as the attack starts, can't be interrupted. And once the attack is over, set is interruptible to true again. Okay. Spin, we don't need it, so I'm gonna go over here and delete spin. And slash, so we have an AoE slash and a regular slash. So a slash is what happens in the beginning, and then the AoE slash. So this one I'm just gonna call sphere. Trace on damage. Why isn't this? Okay. So sphere trace on damage. Here's our damage info. And radius 20, length 200. All right, and here's our spinning attack. Let's test it out. Oh, we didn't change it here. So now actually all of this spinning mesh, stop spinning, chase target, AoE slash, we can get rid of all of it. Delete all of this, gone. And now the spinning attack. Delete, and we just get our BPC attacks. Call spinning attack. Again, let me rename it to spinning melee attack. Doesn't really matter. And our attack info, pull and say make. This is our attack target. Our montage is the spinning attack montage, and the damage, I forgot. Let's just put, I don't know, 10 or whatever. Yeah, 10, doesn't matter. And say it's melee damage. Great. Let's test it out. So I should get a long range attack and a spinning attack. Nice, so it works, but he is not chasing me. That's because, of course, we removed the chase functionality. What I'm gonna do instead is add the chase functionality as part of the behavior tree. And let me show you how I'm gonna do that. So opening up our, where is it? Enemies, AI, our enemy behavior tree, our melee behavior tree. And here in this short, where is it? In this spinning attack, I should probably rename this to spinning attack. So in this spinning attack, instead of just doing this spin on its own, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a sequence of actions. So I'm going to replace this with a sequence. And I'm going to call this the spinning attack sequence. And this is what's going to have the cooldown actually. So the cooldown will be on the whole sequence. And what I want is to spin and chase. So I want the chase to be part of the behavior tree. But I want to do both the spin attack and the chase in parallel. So both at the same time. You're attacking and you're spinning. So to do something in parallel, I'm going to use the parallel node. So there is a node called simple parallel here. That takes a main task and a background task. And the node itself finishes when the main task finishes. So the spinning attack will be the main node, and the background task will be a move to the attack target. And this, as long as this is playing, this will keep repeating. So it's going to keep moving until the first attack ends. And I'm going to change the acceptable radius to 15, or I don't know, maybe even 50. So you don't have to move really close. You can just move a bit further away. I'm actually going to make it 100, sorry. Okay. Yeah, so let's see what this looks like now. So do the long range and do the spin. Is it going to chase me? Yes, and he's chasing me. Perfect. But one thing I noticed is that he chases me right away, not at the right time. So watch this. Yeah, so he's already chasing me before the spinning is already begun. So it looks a bit weird. I mean, you can leave it if you don't mind, but I didn't like this. Let me show you again. This sliding effect in the beginning. So I can add a weight. So I can make this into a sequence and add a weight. And the weight will depend on actually how long it takes to reach the spin part. So where's our spin? Right here. Yeah, right here maybe. So 1.2 seconds. So I'm going to wait for 1.2 seconds. Now, he's going to wait 1.2 seconds and then start chasing me. Perfect. All right. And that's how we move the actual chasing part to the behavior tree and keep the spinning attack agnostic of the chase. So the spinning attack isn't related to the chase. They're both separate functionalities that we can choose to use together or not. So now our melee attacks have now completely moved to the BPC attacks, and this is pretty much all of it. So it is much, much more compact now in the actual enemy class. Nice. Okay, so now what we have to do is actually do the same for our mage enemy, but luckily the mage enemy doesn't have a lot of attacks. So let's look at our mage enemy. Mage enemy only has 2 attacks, so this basic and barrage attack, and they are pretty simple to move. So let's do it really quick. So I'm just going to copy all of this, BPC attacks. Let's actually, well, let's comment all of these. Yeah, let's leave them for now. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here, paste, and this we're gonna rename to, I don't know, something like basic mage spell. And instead of attack targets, again, it's attack info of type attack info. We break it. This is where we get our attack targets, our montage, and here we don't have this. Oh, did we delete the, we have to, very important to delete, oh, I think we deleted it, the base attack. So this, so that the parent attack, sorry, so that this base attack is always calling the one from the base enemy. But yeah, I think we deleted it because I don't see it here. Yeah. Okay, scratch that. So here we call attack base, pass in the attack target, and we get our mesh. And attack end as well, we need to call it on get owner. I can't do that. Get owner. What am I doing? I already have the owner. Attack end, I mean. And on completed and on interrupted. And here's our attack target. And we don't have an interrupt because the enemy is always interruptible during this time. And here we don't need BPC attacks. We're already in BPC attacks. So this is a reference to self. And here the mesh, again, should be the mesh that we get from this one. And the damage info is this variable. Yep. Anything else? No, I think that is it. And yeah, this magic spell we already have, so no need to change anything here. Now let's move the other one. Oh, actually, let's update this to call BPC attacks, basic mage spell, make and make, this was 20, projectile, this was, which one was it? Fireball, yeah. And here's our attack target. Are we missing anything? Nope, I don't think so. Now for the barrage, again, copy all of this lovely stuff, go over here and paste it. First things first, replace this with attack info, s_attack info, break it. There's our, oh, not this one. We want our base, attack base. There's our attack target. There's our mesh. And there's our attack target as well. This one is off of get owner, attack end, uncompleted, uninterrupted. Here's your target. And is interruptible, is true at this point. So set is interruptible to, oh, sorry, not attack end. Oh, actually, yes, this is at attack end. So when the attack is over, the enemy is interruptible again. But here we have, they are not interruptible when they actually start the spell. But before, so before this notify begins, they are interruptible. So that's why it's put here. So I'm gonna do this. Set is interruptible at this point to false. And do it off of get owner as well. So as soon as fire is called, they are no longer interruptible. And this will delete magic spell as well. Mesh we get from here. Get actor location is off of owner. So we start from our own actor location. And we get the attack target's actor location, right? That's what we were doing. Yes, this is the attack target and this is our self. And everything else, oh, and this damage info, of course, is this variable here. Anything else? Compile? Nope, no complaints. Nice. Oh, montage. Don't forget that one. And I think that is it for the mage enemy. Let's test this bad boy out. Let's get our mage. Boom. Okay, so teleport, basic attack, boom, working. Teleport, and basic attack again. All right, and now the barrage. Ooh, ooh, oh, yes, very nice. Everything's working as expected. Oh, actually, did I? I didn't. No. Was still doing the old barrage. So I still think it's going to work, but yeah, we need to make sure we are calling the one from the BPC attacks. So let's call it the barrage magic. And since we called all of magic spells, not attacks, let's call this one spell as well. Barrage, magic spell, make our attack info, make our damage info. This one, I don't know, let's say 15 projectile. Here's our attack target. And the montage was the barrage montage. Okay. Now we're done. And we deleted all the attack helpers, so that's cool. Let's test it out again. Teleport, basic attack, teleport, and teleport, barrage. Whoa, very nice. And it's working. Awesome. Now, the final thing we need to do to round off this tutorial is to actually add our ground smash attack to our behavior tree. Because right now, the melee enemy and the mage enemy don't do the ground smash attack yet. So let me start by the mage enemy. And as always, you still need to add the attack in your attack enums. So I'm going to add one here and call it ground smash attack. All right. But we're going to do something a bit different and actually smart this time. But let me show you what I mean. So in our enemies AI, in our behavior tree for the mage, right now it's just based on cooldown. So if the barrage attack is not on cooldown, it does that. If the basic attack is not on cooldown, it does that. Otherwise, it goes into the evade. But for the ground smash, I want it to only do it if the player is within a certain distance from the mage. So if the mage enemy is evading, I want it to stop evading if the player enemy gets too close and then do the ground smash attack. So to do that, I'm going to move all of this a bit here. And I'm going to make a new node here. And it's going to be a sequence called the ground smash sequence. All right. And what it's going to do is first check if, so we need a decorator that checks for a blackboard value. And if you recall, we have a blackboard value called distance to attack target. So if this distance to attack target is less than or equal to 250, because yeah, let's say 200, then I want you to abort lower priority. So abort the evade task and then do the attack. So the full mage attack, and this is your attack target. Tokens needed 1. Teleport location, interesting one. We're gonna talk about this in a second because this one doesn't have a teleport. And the attack name will be ground smash attack. And after you're done with the attack, I want you to do the things you usually do. So these lovely tasks. So wait, run EQS, and teleport away. Actually, don't need to do that. It's going to do it automatically. So we actually only need to do this. Yeah. But here's the interesting thing. Now all of the attacks, so this is our mage attack, where we always teleport. So we first do the attack start and then we teleport. So I'm not going to want to teleport in the ground smash attack. I want this to be optional. So I'm going to add a variable here called should teleport. And it's going to default to true. Make sure to click the eye icon because I want to edit it from the behavior tree. And I'm going to do a branch right here. Right here on should teleport. So if should teleport is true, then continue what you're doing. If should teleport is false, then go right to the attack. So ignore the teleport, the bind, the unbind. We don't need any of that. Go directly to the attack. So just a simple condition so that we don't always have to teleport before any attack. And now the attack, we just need to go over here in the ground smash attack and call ground smash attack. Make sure to call the one off of the mage, not off of the BPC attacks, because we don't want to do that. We want the mage one. Ground smash attack. Excellent. And the attack target is this guy. Yep. Oh, and one very important thing. So right now, we don't have anything that updates this distance to attack target key. We have it in the melee enemy as a service. So we need to copy this service and put it on our mage tree as well. So let's put it, I don't know, in the combat state or in the can see target. Doesn't really matter. Let's put it in the combat state. Okay. Yeah, let's see what this looks like. So if I get close during an evade, whoa, something happened. Oh, I forgot. Should teleport should be false here and should be true here and true here. Yeah. Okay. So again, if I go to the... Something's wrong with the ground smash attack. Oh, my friend, this isn't connected. That would do it. That was a quick, easy fix. All right, let's try it again. Go close and boom, do the smash and then teleport away. Perfect. So again, if during the evade I get, whoa. Oh, okay. So enemy has to be evading, and if they're evading and I get too close, they're going to do the boom ground smash. Very nice. All right, let's also add a quick cooldown on this one as well. So cooldown, let's say, so you can't do it more than every 2 seconds or something. Yeah, all right. Oh, and also we can name this decorator. So if player too close, something like that. All right, now let's add to our melee enemy the other attack as well. So in our melee, we also need to go to our melee attacks enum and add a decorator, call it, add a value, call it ground smash attack as well. And let's close up this, close this, and let's do it less priority than the spinning attack, but higher priority than the long range. So I'm going to copy this, paste it here, and let's also give it a cooldown of, I don't know, 4 seconds. Make sure to change the attack name to ground smash attack, and this one as well, ground smash attack. And also let's have a distance check. So if the distance is less than or equal to 200 as well, because we want to also do it only if we're close. And actually that should be it. This one should be a simple one. So let's go over here and add our melee enemy and let's test it out. So do this attack. And spinning is the highest priority, so it's going to do the spin. Don't kill me. Oh, shit, it killed me. Okay, this one, this time I won't get killed. Okay, and spinning attack, highest priority. He's not going to get me. He's not going to get me. All right. And now I should do the smash. Do it. No, spin is... Okay, let's decrease the cooldown a bit just to see it. Cooldown 1 second. Okay, and let's increase the cooldown of the spin to like 7. Okay, so do the jump and smash. Ooh, nope, something happened. Oh, sorry, my bad. We forgot to add it here, so we have to call it, of course, ground smash attack, and pass in our attack target. Oh. This is in our melee attack task, by the way. Okay, now it should work. Jump and whoop, boom. Very nice. But he's not doing anything afterwards because we didn't connect this. Oh, did we make the same mistake in the melee? In the mage? I hope we didn't. Where's our mage? Oh, we don't have, oh, of course, because this is a separate function. We have a separate function for it in the mage. So let's make sure we didn't make the same mistake and boom, and should go back to attacking now. Great. All right, and that's pretty much it. As always, thank you all for watching. This one was a pretty long one and had a lot of mainly technical changes, but I think now we have a pretty powerful attack system that is more flexible and can be used for multiple enemy types. And again, the main goal of doing this is for our boss fight. So now the boss fight can reuse any of the attacks that we've already implemented for our melee enemy, our mage enemy, and I'm just remembering now I forgot to move the one attack in the ranged enemy, but that's fine. You know the process now, and it's as simple as copying and pasting and making sure that you're changing self for owner. Now, I'm not sure if the next tutorial will be the boss fight. I still have some planning to do, but if I realize that we are now at the point where we're ready for the boss fight, then that actually might be the next tutorial, which I'm really excited for. But no promises yet. I still have some planning to do. So I'll see you in the next one.